Howdy, everybody. Welcome back. This is the vertical stabilizer disassembly and redoing because I have the replacement parts from Vans for the laser cut parts. Vans did ship out the laser cut parts replacements for the vertical stabilizer, the um, rudder, the elevators, and a little bit of the fuselage. And so this is me taking apart my completed vertical stabilizer, and then basically to get the parts that are needed for the new one, because they don't send you every single piece, they only send you the ones. So there's a quick little diagram. The green ones are the ones that they sent. The red ones are the ones that you need to get out of your other version so you can use them in your new version. And the getting all of those rivets out is a pain. It's not hard, it's not difficult to do. It's just a lot of rivets and you got to do every single one of them. One trick that I did learn, which made it a lot easier, obviously you go through and you put a little, I have a little, um, I don't even know what it's called. It puts just a little dimple in the top of the rivet, that little thing right there. And it puts a little mark in the top of the rivet so you can put it in the center, and then you put the drill kind of in that little hole that it makes. And what I realized is if you start really slow and then just kind of let the drill make a bigger hole, and you make sure it's in the middle of the rivet, then you can speed up and go through. And so what you don't really see, me going at, a really fast speed on the video, is you don't see me starting really slow and then finishing with the thing. But it did make it a lot easier if you started really slow, made sure it was centered, and then you could hit the gas on the drill gun and it would go through it pretty quick. And believe it or not, you can get pretty good at it. I 90, probably 8% of those rivets I had right in the middle, and they were pretty doggone good. Not good enough that I would say I didn't need a new skin. There were a couple that were off, and I wouldn't feel comfortable putting that skin back on. But there was a bunch of them I did pretty good on. And so my friend Brad is back, helping me out, and he's taken out some of the. Those are like the little hinge brackets that they have, that you have to take off because they don't send you those. You have to repurpose those. So that's me and him taking those off. He came over and helped me out again. It was a while there where he was on vacation and I was on vacation, and Christmas happened and all kinds of stuff, and we didn't get together. So it's kind of nice to have him back helping me out. And while he's helping me out, I'll give you a joke. And it's kind of a political joke. And so if you are offended by this joke, I don't care. It's hilarious, in my opinion. And so you probably don't watch this channel for the jokes anyway, so it's okay. So here's the joke. So what's the difference between Wuhan and Vegas? What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Now, it's like 4 years after COVID, so that one should be okay. So Brad and I, obviously, we talk a little bit while we work. That's the best part about it. We have some fun, shooting the breeze, as they say. And then we got to get those hinge brackets are made of, they're steel. They're not aluminum, so if you're not lined up right, they take some time to get out. So you have to kind of work at it. And there's me not positioning the camera very well. Sorry. But hey, there we go. So that's me lining stuff up and drilling out the holes so we can match it up, because you did have to drill a couple of extra holes. And then that's the piece that we took off the old version so we could put it on the new version. All of the new versions have the blue plastic stuff. And there's Brad, he's vacuuming. I don't want anybody to think that Brad doesn't do anything. You can see right here he is doing something. So just I left that in there so you guys can see that Brad actually does stuff. So don't make fun of Brad. And then here's me just continuing on with the build of the vertical stabilizer. There is not a whole lot to the vertical stabilizer, but there were a couple of gotchas. Because you had done it already, watch out for this, is I thought like I knew what I was doing, and then I had to go back to the instructions like, okay, what order do I need to do that in? It's like I wasn't wrong in what I needed to do, but the order in which you do them is different in the instructions. And so I caught myself a few different times in redoing the parts, going back to the instructions saying, oh yeah, I have to do that first. That's why they needed to be dimpled, in the first step instead of waiting till you actually, put it together, and a bunch of things like that. So a bunch of little things. So be very particular. Make sure you follow the instructions in the same order when you were building the first one. Pretend as if it was the first one, even though you've done it already, and you probably, could put it together without many problems, without even looking at them. I highly suggest look at those instructions, make sure you're doing it the right way, make sure the parts get on the right side of the spars and stuff like that. So, and then this is just me adding that extra stiffener plate that they have there to the front spar that will eventually get a bolt in it. And when you attach it to your aft fuselage, because I had already done that before I got the replacement parts. So, and then there are a couple of holes in the rear spar and the front spar because I had attached it to the aft fuselage. Those holes are in some of the parts, but not in the new parts. So I haven't decided how I'm going to handle that. We will see. I think they should line up perfectly. If they don't, I might have questions and wonder what I need to do. But you never know. And so this is me just kind of putting it together, making sure everything fits, making sure all the holes are okay in the pieces that I took out of the old one, to make sure they fit right and everything looks good. And at this point, I'm drilling out the new stuff, not necessarily drilling out the old stuff. The old stuff has already been final sized. It's the new stuff I'm kind of just drilling out so the rivets fit in there. And then we have the skin. And so the instructions do say to put it together, make sure everything fits together. And then you kind of take it all apart. You make sure everything is primed if you want to prime stuff. And then you actually rivet it together at the very end. But you always do here, let's put it together, make sure everything fits the way it's supposed to fit, kind of fit test. And then once everything's good to go, you can go prime stuff, you can, and then put it together. So this video is almost over. It's just to this point where I put the skin on the frame. The next video will be me actually putting that all together for the vertical stabilizer. So I know you've already seen the vertical stabilizer videos, but I did think it was important to show the parts, the replacing the parts and what parts need to be replaced, and kind of my process for doing that. So I'm not sure when I will get to the rudder and the elevators. I'm sure at some point those videos will come out as well, but I'll probably have the wings and the replacement parts videos kind of intermingled. So have fun. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment. Talk to you later. Bye.